The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Michael Heater, filling in from the absent Mitchell Gunner, and the Byron Bagwell. Great to have you guys along.
Good evening.
Tonight's show is sponsored by the Fantastic Fire Brigade. Nothing is more exciting than a full-size real fire engine at a birthday party, parade, or special event. Fantastic Fire Brigade in Stark, Florida will make your next party a blazing success. Coming to Facebook, or already on Facebook, should I say, call 904-701-FIRE. That's 904-701-3473. Let's get the show started, ladies and gentlemen, as we always do, with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night and the week. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bow our heads and let us pray. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for everything that you do for us each and every day. We know that you're the ultimate provider, the ultimate healer, the ultimate comforter, dear Lord. Thank you for being in our lives and letting us wake up one more day in this world today, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, dear Lord. No matter what's going on within ourselves, dear Lord, and on the outside, that we are still one of the greatest nations in the world today, the most powerful nations in the world today, and we will get through this as we do everything else. Thank you for the armed forces, dear Lord, our great armed forces that are combined and doing everything that they need to do to keep us safe from domestic and international terrorism and anything else that's going on, dear Lord. Keep your hedge of protection over them and bring them home back safely to their families as they are looking to see their loved ones as well, dear Lord. Thank you for our first responders, each and every one of them, dear Lord, all over the world, all over the United States, all over our state, and all over our county and our city, dear Lord. They are out there protecting each and every one of us every day and every night, that we're able to sleep safely and keep safely in our homes, dear Lord. They're out there doing the hard work, dear Lord, and please just keep a hedge of protection over them and bring them back safely to their families as well. Thank you for everybody that's on the front lines of America, our farmers, our truck drivers, everybody that's involved in keeping this great nation moving, dear Lord. The hardworking people, keep blessing them, dear Lord, as we're trying to rebuild this nation as the great nation it is and once was, dear Lord. Thank you for everything else that we are thankful for. Again, our food as it goes to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Anybody with a spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them. You're the ultimate healer. You're the ultimate comforter. Touch each and every one of those, dear Lord, as they're going through their trials and tribulations. Again, thank you for this day. Thank you for the rest of the week. Thank you for the upcoming week. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Let us stand for our flag, please, and our pledge. And I'm going to ask, here we go. There it is. I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater if he would lead us.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. Along to my left here, he is the Byron Bagwell.
Good evening,
to my right is Michael Heater, filling in for the absent Mitchell Gunner. Got some things going on the outside. Hey, right behind the scenes right here in his white shirt, black tie, looking good as always, is our producer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David, to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It's been a beautiful couple of days.
There you go. It sure has.
Yep.
And, of course, the missing Austin Stevens. He is back home trying to take care of a few things. Got some schoolwork going on. So we want to say hello to him and his family as well.
But I will say,
Uh-huh.
he left us with a pretty nice forecast.
Did he? I hope it's got a pollen count that's down. Oh, boy.
I've got a little bit to add to that too at the very end of it.
Okay.
A little bit of advice for the hunters out there.
There you go. So anyway, Byron, do you have a quote of the week
I've
for
got
us?
two of them as a matter of fact.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear them.
The first one is pretty straightforward. I think way too many people have been drinking from the fountain of stupid.
Well,
That sounds like a quote by Byron Bagwell.
well, yeah, it does. Is that the Byron Bagwell? I'm just going to go out and venture to say.
Actually, it's not.
Okay, all right.
Actually, that's anonymous, man.
Okay.
I can't take credit for that. I would love to because it actually echoes my sentiment right now. But
Yeah.
Okay. And the second one.
Uh-huh.
Some people's idea of free speech is that they are free to say what they like, but if anyone says anything back, that's an outrage.
Ooh, boy, that is fitting for some things that are going on.
I've heard this one, and I'm trying to remember where I read it.
I'm going to give everybody a hint. It's not a founding father.
Right.
I'm going to say
it's-
Miss Rand. That's who I'm going to say.
And I'm going to say something else.
Okay.
This person's not even American.
Ooh.
Yeah, this was
This is Mr. Churchill. I've got to go with Churchill.
I would jump on board with that.
Okay.
No,
No?
this is I don't think it's British. I think that I honestly I can't give you a name. I'm lost on this one,
Okay.
but I don't believe
You don't believe it's Churchill?
I don't believe it's someone who would be affiliated with the English or American. I want to say it sounds like something that might be French, but that's a stretch.
All right, B.
Well, sorry, Michael Heater.
Yeah.
It's Winston Churchill.
It is Winston Churchill.
Wow. My goodness. How about that? It was Mr.
go.
Churchill
A
himself.
little bit of Winston
Can't win 'em
Churchill.
all.
Can't win them all. That's okay.
You have to
Or any of
understand.
them.
You have to understand about freedom of speech. When you start talking about freedom of speech, you start getting into it in England,
Yeah.
basically with the thoughts of personal liberty,
Right.
That's true.
and with people like Beck. I'm drawing a blank tonight for some reason.
Good. I don't
I've
feel
read
so
the
bad
book.
then.
Yeah, don't. It's two treaties on government, and I can't remember his name for some reason right now. And yeah,
Oh, all right. Well, I'll tell you what.
Government is he affiliated with?
this guy was a great influence on the Age of Enlightenment and on our founding fathers. And I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is, and for some reason,
Maybe you will as we
I
go, and you can bring
I
it
just
back.
Sir
cannot
Francis
remember.
Bacon or something.
I can't. It's not Francis Bacon. I can't remember the guy's name right now.
It'll pop back to you.
Yes.
All right. Hey, don't go anywhere because the three.
John Locke. There it
All
is.
right, John Locke. There it is. See, as soon as I say that.
Popped in.
Hey, don't go anywhere because the 360 starts right now. This is the 360, your news and weather update. It's 360 degrees in just 360 seconds. Hey, brought to you by Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $10 haircut. Call Dave and Company at 904-964-3338. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, now, 7 days a week, you can go in there and get your haircut, start looking good for the week. Let's say you've got to get a haircut, Mike. You go in there on Sunday.
I could.
You go in there on Sunday and look good for money.
That's exactly right.
There you go.
All right.
We begin with the big news of the day coming out of Nassau County, where accused cop killer Patrick McDowell was taken into custody shortly earlier today, just west of Callahan. Reports say he surrendered after a canine was sent in when he was discovered. He was treated for a bite wound. Man, you know, wow. 29-year-old Nassau County Deputy Joshua Moyers died Sunday. Officials say McDowell shot Moyers in the face and back during a traffic stop early Friday morning in Callahan. Hundreds of officers had scoured the area trying to find McDowell, including SWAT teams from Clay, Putnam, and Bradford counties. Wow. Michael, just want to elaborate on this a little bit. I've got some relatives that live over in the Nassau County area that's part of law enforcement. And they said, it's been really tragic over there. Everybody's been mourning. And of course, this guy I heard was really big time in the community. He did a lot of things. And we don't want to see any law enforcement go under like that and take what he did. But, they were saying, it's part of the job, it's part of the duties. And unfortunately, you have to watch out for these things. And you're going to have people out there like this guy here that got bit by this dog. That's the least that could have happened in that arrest.
No, that's true. And in this situation,
more chewing would be a better.
McDowell was a former Marine who had lived in the Nassau County area and had been trained with some of the advanced military training. That's what made this such a dangerous situation. So kudos to the law enforcement agencies. There were 30 different agencies involved in this. Everyone from the FBI down to 18 different counties from Florida and Georgia that were involved in the search for the suspect, and great intelligence that had come in to indicate that he was still in the area. I mean, he could have easily, huffed it over to I-10 and right west. But in this situation, great intelligence, great surveillance that allowed them to pinpoint where he was. He was located inside a concession stand of a ball field where children would normally be playing, was pinned down in there. And what a lot of people may not be aware of is that during the initial escape, after the shooting, when he was initially tracked, he received a gunshot wound from law enforcement. So he spent 5 days with a gunshot wound to the leg with a bullet grazed to his head, which was part of the motivating factor, along with the canine chewing on his arm, that was allowed to bring him into custody.
That is great. All right, let's go to Clay County this afternoon. A gas leak forced the closure of Blanding Boulevard near in the construction zone along Long Bay Road. There were no injuries, and the road was reopened after firefighters secured the leak. Documents received through a public records request show that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is actively pursuing an investigation against the Office of Alachua County Supervisor of Elections, Kim Barton, and another staff member. The report details the allegations, including evidence that employees visited the Alachua County Jail on 3 dates in 2020 and registered at least 9 inmates who later voted while they were ineligible to vote under Florida law.
Right.
Mail-in ballots for the city special election in November are going out in 3 weeks, and many of these ineligible voters have standing requests to receive mail-in ballots. For example, the first name on the list, Dedrick Baldwin, receives mail at the Alachua County Jail and is scheduled to receive a mail ballot for the election.
Absolutely.
Wow. Interesting.
That has been coming for a long time.
Yes,
we talked about that months and months ago, after the election when it first came out.
That is correct. That was one of the stories that actually Mitchell Gunner and Byron Bagwell broke months ago as news coming out of that. This is on top of all the scandalous activities going on with the city of Gainesville and Alachua County. So it's a real, I'm not going to say cesspool, it's a real conglomeration of interesting minutia coming in out of that.
And
that
not
area.
just here, right, B? This is happening all over the state and the country as well, right?
Exactly. What we've had with the national news here recently is the investigation into the Arizona elections has come in. That's part of what I'm going to talk about tonight, and a lot of it that's been said is going to be taken the wrong way because what they found was the ballots were counted right. Well, you count all the ballots that you want to.
It's how the ballots got there.
It's how the ballots got there, and that's the other part of the report that nobody's talking about on basically on the mainstream media. I can write my name differently 40 times and vote 40 times, and if you count all 40 of those ballots, that's still illegal.
That's right.
Yeah. And moving on with some other news, and of course you'll get into that. Stark police officers are mourning the loss of former police chief Jimmy Epps. Wow. Chief Epps died on Sunday with his family by his side. Born in 1939, Epps served as Stark police chief from 1988 until 2001. Epps was 81 at his passing. And finally, beginning this Friday, the Epcot Center at Walt Disney World will be split into 4 neighborhoods, each showcasing a brand new look and experience for park visitors. In August 2019, Disney announced that Epcot would undergo the biggest transformation of any Disney park in history over several years, bringing in new attractions, new restaurants, and new experiences. With these changes, Epcot will be unified by 4 neighborhoods. Listen to these: World Showcase, World Nature, World Discovery, and World Celebration. Wow, interesting.
What's fascinating about this is that they're taking some of the biggest attractions of Disney World and kind of expanding them. So, for example, Spaceship Earth, which is the giant golf ball.
Right.
That has become now what's going to be part of World Discovery because it's expanding into space exploration and taking it into the next level, tying in with Star Wars, of course, was bought by the Disney Corporation. World Nature is where you've got the theme park. They're taking in the water parks and the zoo area and everything like all that, animal attractions. That's all being expanded into a more interactive adventure for children and young adults to be able to interact with the animals in such a way. World Celebration is going to be taking the what do you call the all the food, like the different nations around where you get all this stuff like that. I forget what it's called. They're expanding that as well, so that you get you get an entire world exposure to different cultures around the world. So it's actually really good stuff.
I like that they're calling it World Different. You know what I mean? World Showcase, World Nature, World Discovery, and World Celebration. I really like that they're doing that.
That's a good thing.
You know, we have a lot of people that come into this state and visit these parks that are from different countries, that are from different nations. And I tell you, it's going to be a good thing, and I think it will be a good thing for Disney.
People come from all over the world.
Absolutely.
To Disney. So yeah, it's a very good thing. Everything you said was a good thing, with the exception of the Star Wars thing. Well, but that's a complete another.
Absolutely. Well, this is a big Star Wars guy.
I'm a Star Wars guy. Yeah.
So that's the latest news from around the region, ladies and gentlemen. Now here's your weather forecast.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
Hey folks, good evening. Want to give you a quick heads up here. Let's start with the pollen count because as David indicated, there were some pollen issues and you can see why. Look at the medium to high range. Pollen count starting to get up there as we move through the next 5 days. Pollen count topping out at 8.6, and then dropping off a little bit as we get towards the end of the weekend, but it's still going to be slightly uncomfortable for those of you that have pollens. Right now we're experiencing pine as well as some of the grasses, the normal thing that we encounter this time of year. That sort of thing like that one. We will see a little bit of a break on that as we start getting the cold fronts moving through and the temperatures start to drop, but you've still got probably another 3 to 5 weeks of high pollen before it starts to level off as we go into the fall and winter months.
The pine explains it all.
Yeah, it's the pine, unfortunately. All right, so let's talk about the regional forecast. Sunshine rules the area. Pascagoula, Mississippi, you've got rain tomorrow with a temperature of 80. Everywhere else, beautiful conditions. 85 in Atlanta, 86 Charlotte, 86 in Nashville, 88 down in Orlando under beautiful sunny skies. Lower humidities, but they are going to be creeping back up as we head into the end of the week. What does that look like? Well, let me show you what we got on the local map. You'll see that we've got partly cloudy skies, variable cloudy as we move through the rest of this week here. Highs at, once again, upper 80s, moderately comfortable humidity levels, lows in the 60s. That's what I like. It's open window weather as you go through the evenings. Nice conditions overall. We're looking at pleasant conditions all the way through the weekend. Next chance of rain starts rolling in beginning of next week. That's the latest from Austin's Weather Service, Dave. We're going to throw it back to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. That was a great weather report, and we'll give you that weather report again before we end the night. And, of course, Byron, that's probably why me and you have a little bit of an allergy problem. See that pollen count?
The pine is what.
Yeah, the pine. Me too. So,
A little bit of update with the weather for the hunters.
For the hunters, yes.
Yeah.
Because it's hunting season now.
It is.
in Florida in certain zones, and we're part of those certain zones, and everybody's going into their tree stands and bow hunting.
Correct.
I want to tell everybody this: if you are a hunter, please spray yourself before you go into your hunting stands, because the red bugs and the ticks are out. I can attest to this personally. Please spray yourself.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Good call on that.
All right, now here is the answer to one of the questions for Thursday night trivia at the Downtown Grill, which I host on Thursday nights. Before I go to that, Wednesday nights over at Fun Point, you can catch this guy right here. He's been doing a great job on their trivia over there. Had several teams over there the last couple of weeks. They have a good time. And make sure you go over there and visit Michael Heater and the staff over at Fun Point, because they do a good job on trivia as well. Also, you'll have trivia on Thursday night, which is the one I host there. Starts at 7:30. Both trivia starts at 7:30. Michael's sort of starts at 7:15, and that's because it's just a little different. Same, but a little different.
It's a little bit different. We have a kickoff question that starts at 7:15, thereabouts like that. It's multiple guests, multiple choice, lets you build up your point levels. 7:30 starts question number 1, and don't forget, we play appetizer poker. Best poker hand wins. If you want to know more about it, you got to come out and join us. 7:15 to 7:30 Wednesday nights at Fun Point, and of course, this guy Thursday nights at the Downtown Grill.
Exactly right. And I've got a little something to add to this week.
Ooh.
Y'all are going to love.
All right.
You're going to have, from here until October the 29th, have a chance, if you show up to trivia. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, Michael, but 3 people each and every week up until October the 29th is going to have a chance to win a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol.
Really?
It ain't going to cost them a thing. Going to have a chance to win a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol that we are raffling off for a co-worker. I have bought a bunch of tickets for that. And each and every week, 3 people. If you got to show up for trivia. 3 people. I don't know if I'm going to do a draw, if I'm going to do a dice roll. I don't know yet. I'm still working on that. We'll have a chance to win that beautiful pistol, and of course I'll put it out there and show everybody. So, hey, you got to come to trivia though. You got to be able to sign your name to the ticket. So you got to come to trivia. So that's another little thing besides the prizes that not only Michael gives away at his, but we do at ours. So we give you the answer here to one of the questions. Why don't we give the questions, Byron?
Well, I knew you wouldn't be able to give the answer.
Well, that's very true. So here we go. That's a great way to put it. The answer to this week's trivia is mine. M-I-N-E. David has put it up on the screen beautifully in red. David, I love that. Yep. That is a beautiful graphic. So mine is going to be the answer. And of course, I've already got all the trivia questions wrote up, ready to go. And again, make sure you join us on Thursday night. You can come in there at 7:15. I'm going to try to have everything up on the board for you. Yeah. Got another 5-point question there for you. Got another chance. You can win 10 points to start the game if you get it right. Even if you don't, you're going to get 3 points apiece. Still 6 points to start.
And seriously, Thursday night trivia, it is the second best trivia game in town.
I like that. Yeah. Let's rephrase. It's the first best trivia game. Actually, we both have fun doing this thing.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun doing it. Just whenever you can come out to do it.
Yeah.
You may be able to go Wednesday night, and that's fine. You may be able to go Thursday night, that's fine. Whatever, get out and enjoy either Fun Point or the Downtown Grill. Now, here's what everybody's waiting for.
There we go.
Now, here's everyone's favorite segment that brings back a little history, Brian, brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Vellis, my bosses on Friday night during tornado football season, and the Bradford County Telegraph, owner John Miller, John Ryan and Elizabeth Tillman, Mark Crawford, editor, and of course Cliff Smelly, sports, and whatever else he got to do. Here's What's the Date? And ladies and gentlemen, these are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the last week of September in what year? Woman discovers burglar hiding under the bed. Wow. Inmate threatened to make jewelry from judge's teeth. Whoa. And Santa Fe College's door is open to all. Wow. Was that September of 2017, September of 2018, or September of 2019? Again, David, listen to this. Woman discovers burglar hiding under the bed. Inmate threatened to make jewelry from judge's teeth. Nice. And Santa Fe College's doors is open to all. Was that 2017, 2018, or 2019? I'll read the first one. Mike, you read the second one. And Byron, you read the third one.
That works.
Stark police arrested 24-year-old Samuel Reesebox of Stark after his girlfriend discovered him hiding under her bed at Whispering Oaks Apartments. He was arrested for burglary of an occupied structure. I'm sorry.
But wait.
Yeah, it just gets better.
A former inmate at Florida State Prison was sentenced to an additional 4 years in prison for threatening to sexually assault, kill, and mutilate a circuit judge in Palm Beach County, stating that he would string the judge's teeth on a gold chain as memorabilia.
Wow. Byron, can you follow that up with anything?
Santa Fe College President Jackson Sasser presented his annual State of the College address on September 19th at the Governor Charlie E. Johns Conference Center in Stark. Noting creativity, persistence, and this top story, the middle story has got me on.
Yeah, me too.
Persistence and academic excellence. Our professors are finding ways to open doors for each and every student. And there you go.
Gosh, Mike, I tell you, you did a good job. Wow. Woman discovers burglar hiding under the bed. Inmate threatened to make jewelry from judge's teeth. You just heard the man read it. And Santa Fe College's door is open to all. Was that September of 2017, September of 2018, September of 2019? Michael, I know we haven't did a drawing yet. Do you got to go get the...
No, I'm all set.
Are you all set?
Would I do it now?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay, so let me explain something to you. For weeks, I have been hearing about this fire helmet. They've made a point about what a big head it is. It's a decorative helmet. It's a ceremonial helmet. It wasn't used. I mean, and I thought, you know what? You bring up a good point. I should get a real fire helmet.
Sure.
Make something that means something.
Yes.
Something that's important to people. So I decided I would go ahead and get a real fire helmet. So for these two gentlemen, I've got a real fire helmet.
Wow. Now, wait a minute. A real fire helmet?
I just threw up in my mouth a little.
Yeah, good grief. Is that an orange and blue fire helmet?
I prefer to think it's beautiful.
It depends on what colors you like.
So anyway, so we got the names in there.
Yep.
Go ahead and pull out a winner for that. This is the August win, correct?
Yeah, this is August win now. Because we are behind.
We are behind.
We are behind just because of some things that's been going on. We are behind. So we do have that winner right here. And I'm going to hold it for just a second.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just a second, because I know...
You're trying to collect yourself from teeth collector?
Well, yes, the teeth collector. I am very shocked about that story, but it doesn't surprise me. So let me welcome in some people, guys.
Okay.
Welcome in Rhonda Crawford, Randy Brooks, Gail Allen, Mary Salvatore.
Hey, sweetie.
There we go. Benny Jackson, Shirley Bagwell. Mom, hello, good evening.
Hello.
Charlie Anderson's on. Wendy Russell's on. Ty Jordan's on. Roy Jackson's on. Barbara Zipper from Lake Butler in Union County's on. Mark Udy's on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello! So Tammy Testone's on.
Just so you know, just take a moment. Alvy got the thrill, and Tammy will probably make comment about it. Tammy, you know, was previous winner.
Yes, that's correct.
And so we arranged to deliver her gift certificate using the Funtastic fire engine, and Alvy had 30 minutes of bliss playing in the fire engine, driving the truck, wearing the gear, wearing the helmet. He kept one of the fire helmets. He had a great time. It was a absolute thrill. We got pictures. We'll probably get those uploaded at some point. He had an absolute blast. Albie doesn't get a chance to do that sort of thing a lot, but he had an absolute fantastic time. I'm sorry.
No. Keep going because I want to back this on.
He had an absolutely fantastic time playing with the fantastic Fire Brigade fire engine.
And I want to say this, I want to thank Michael Heater and John Probst for making this happen. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about how to get these guys their certificates because, honestly, when I make a mistake, I will tell you, I've been slacking on getting these certificates. I've had them, just hadn't had a chance to deliver them. Right. We all met for supper one night and said, hey, can we do this? Michael Heater and John Probst step up and said, yes, we can do this. You delivered not also to Albie, which was so wonderful. Sharon and Edwin Pettigrew were very thrilled.
Yes, they were.
Did you deliver to anybody? Was it just those two mainly? Did you
using the fire engine?
Using the fire engine.
John took care of those.
Yes.
And then, of course, Robin McGee, I met with him and got him squared away like that. So everybody except for Raymond No, Raymond, know where you are. So I will be catching up with you tomorrow night at Trivia. Come on down to Fun Point. I have yours in hand. I'll be able to give that to them, and that's everybody.
That's everybody.
That should be everybody.
Mitchell Gunner.
Except for a winner.
Except for the winner.
Which we will take care of.
And we'll figure it out. We'll depend who this name is. We'll figure this out. But also, Mitchell Gunner delivered to Roy Jackson.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Miss Bagwell's got hers, right? Yep. So everybody, I believe she does.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
She'll tell us.
She doesn't. But I believe everybody else has gotten theirs. So thank you guys for stepping in and doing that for us. That is a great and wonderful thing. Yeah. This is why we're able to strategize and do some different things because a lot of us has got some different things going on, and it's not about us, it's about you guys. We love you guys. We love you tuning into the show. We try to make the show as friendly as possible, and it's about the community, and I think we do a good job with that, Byron. So again, thank you guys for stepping up. Sure. All right, Celia Ennis Hines is on. Lisa Hall's on. Mark Udi said for that answer Mandela, which would have been a great. That was a great answer. That would have been a good the model is on. Sharon Pettigrew. Hello to you. Hello. Kathy Stearns is on. Dwight Allen, the Patriots on.
Good evening, brother.
Noah Gibson's on. I want to say David Versace is on. David, have y'all seen the pictures with David?
I did, but I did not respond to him. I should have.
Yeah, David, my friend from Pascagoula, Mississippi, that I went to school with and been friends forever. With some went through some brain surgery and got some blood clots removed and some things like that. If you've seen the big scar on his head, he's going through a lot of pain right now. He's getting a lot better. I spoke with him, David. Prayers and thoughts are with you, my brother. And when you feel up to it, you know my house is open to you. You can come over anytime and spend some time with us. And maybe we can bring you in here live to the show. And you can meet all these guys that you just know by face on the computer and through messaging. You could come in here and hang out with us. Sharon says, Byron, you are too young to start forgetting names. Okay, I'll let you answer that. Benny Jackson's on. Joe Starley. Kim Parker's on. April Tomlinson's on, the coach's wife. Thank you. Dwight Allen said, look at that gray. I'm going to assume he was talking about me a little bit. You don't have any.
He's talking about me.
It's there. It's just.
It's there?
I just try to keep it,
Well, I think he's talking about this too. Yeah, so there you go. A bite is not good enough for him. Yep, I agree. J.J. Thompson's on. Edwin Pettigrew, here to get in the fray. You got it. You got it. Byron, you are too young to start forgetting names again. Jacob Swaggerty's on. Jacob, love you, man.
That's soon to be father.
Father Jacob Swaggerty.
That's right. Yes, we're getting close. One more month until Abby has her little girl.
Yes.
Congratulations. We expand on that one. Yeah, she's doing very well too. I'm glad to hear that.
So. Dwight Allen says the People's Republic of Alachua is corrupt. Okay. Ronnie Stanley's watching. Rest easy, Chief Phelps. Exactly. Yeah. Chief, I stopped from Green Cove Springs past this afternoon as well from complications of COVID-19.
I did.
You know that, Mike?
I saw that as we were going on the air.
Okay.
So yeah, we would be talking.
So we would be talking about that. Never been to the giant golf ball. Yeah. Anthony Black's home from Tallahassee. Rattling doesn't get my money. Becky Scruggs Peden, what I went to school with. Hello, Becky. How are you?
Becky.
From over on the Gulf Coast there. Sawyer's works, Byron.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
I know what he's talking about.
I do too.
If you don't, you
need to find out. Timothy Lee's on. Jacob Swaggerty and me and Jason Dodds will be there for the 9mm. I bet you will.
I'll say.
And you never know. I may work something out with this guy and maybe throw it over to the Wednesday side. Let's see if he will. We'll find out.
Never know.
All right, here we go. Guesses.
All right, here we go.
All right, Swaggerty, 17. Allen, 17.
Okay.
Samantha Lynn, thank you for watching. Mark Udi, 17.
Okay.
Randy Brooks, 17. Thea, 17. Jackson, 17. Roy, that is.
Yep. Okay.
Benny Jackson, 2017.
Okay.
The Model, 2017. Anthony Black, 2017.
I think these people.
Tammy Testone in 2017. Is there a theme here?
There's a theme there.
Jolie Fennell says, yeah, buddy, and go Gators. And I'm going to talk a little tornado football here in just a couple of minutes. Anthony Black's still on. Robert Griffiths is on. Edward Pettiprin says 2017. And Kim Nichols is watching. Thank you so very much for watching.
That's right.
There you go. Good grief, man. Do you got to know something or anything?
I can go get my mask from the truck.
All right. I want to do this right now, but I want to hold the anticipation a little longer.
That's fine.
Let me go along the room before we give that answer to this one. What do you say? 17, 18, or 19?
I think it's 17 too.
Do you, David?
I have no idea, but I'm going with the majority.
17.
17.
Man can't answer
I
here.
can't answer because I wrote it.
And I can't answer either. So, but I do know what the answer is.
I want to say 19, but
Okay.
there's just
too much 17.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Woman discovers burglar hiding under the bed. Michael, probably one of the best stories you've ever come up with.
I do what I can.
Inmate threatened to make jewelry from the judge's teeth.
Yep. Wow.
And Santa Fe College's door is open to all. Was that September of 2017, 2018, or 2019? All right. We've checked the comments. We've already acknowledged everybody. Let's get a drum roll, please. And wait for it. The answer is Michael, David.
I love it when I can smoke them all.
Oh, no way.
Oh.
September of 2018, ladies and gentlemen. And did he not smoke check everybody?
He smoke check.
There ain't a single name
Not a one.
going into that, unless you got something before that came up. I don't have anything.
Nope.
Well,
You smoked them all. Congratulations.
Good. That's right.
I'm thinking Santa Fe and 19 was just
Yeah.
reassuring everybody since
Yeah, that's
it's
a good point.
COVID
That's a good
breakout
point.
that
Yeah.
their doors are open.
Good point.
Actually, can I be honest? Michael even really stumped me. If we wasn't working close together with the show, there was nothing there that gave anything away. To me. Did you? Was there anything to you that was even remotely close that you thought it may be that? There was nothing there that gave away the answer to me.
No.
There was actually a fourth headline that referred to a victory of the Tornadoes playing football, but it was a victory. It wasn't anything that would have stood out on this one. So yeah,
The teeth and jewelry story was totally new to me, and the under the bed story sounds like a daily story.
I remember hearing about that under the bed thing, and I kept on thinking, that would not end well. That should not have ended well.
And it nearly didn't.
All right. So Jacob Swaggerty says, well, wait a minute. Let me see here. Kim Whittemore, I said, Tammy Testone said, thank you guys so much for coming out. He had a blast, even though he had a fit when y'all left, but he had a great time.
Yes. Speaking of that, I came across a picture of him having a great time.
Oh, yes, please post that.
Bam!
Bam! Well, there.
He's handling that
Boy, he's handling
like a champ.
As a matter of fact, you're going on no more events. I think he is.
It looks like he's going to be in charge.
Yeah, he's going to be the man in charge. Look at that. Oh, boy. All right. David Versace said, I would be honored to join you fellas on the show and just visiting and meeting everyone in the show. I'm hoping to visit you fellas within the next month.
Hey, I-10 runs all the way here.
Yes, it does. One way or another, I'll get there maybe around the middle of October. Thank you for that, David. And, of course, if I need to come get you, I will. Keep it in view, Joey Fennell says. And Jacob Swaggerty. You got to love Jacob. If y'all don't know Jacob, I've known Jacob for a long time. He says, Michael, did I put 2017? I meant 2017.
Good job, Jacob.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he goes, 2018 with a little star. Yeah. No, Jacob. Yeah,
nice.
Brett Southwell, who's a big Gator fan, who is a big Union County Tiger fan. I work over there with him. Yeah. I haven't seen these guys for a week, but I'll see him tomorrow. Hello, Brett. Did I say 2017? He said I'm in 2018. Talk to text doesn't understand me. Yeah, and then White Allen says, me too. Yeah. No, nobody won. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the winner for August of 2021 for the $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill.
Shall we?
Drum roll, please. I do believe he's on air. David, the winner is Benny Jackson.
Benny Jackson. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Benny Jackson. I got your certificate. If you want to call in, we'll have a chance for you to do that.
There you go.
God bless you. Hey, next week, we got to turn around and do this again, don't we? Yeah, because we have to pull somebody next week, right?
That's right. As a matter of fact, this is the final show of September, so the names, Benny Jackson, you're the last entry for September. Friday night, we go to October 1st, which means next Tuesday.
Correct.
We will be drawing it once again. So next week, tune in. Make sure you watch for our next winner for the September drawing, and that will be next Tuesday night right here on the spot.
Do you know how many, Mike, just a rough, do you know how many's in there? Now, we didn't have anybody this week, but do you know how many's in there right now?
There was I want to say 15. I may be wrong. I think it was 15, 16, something like that one. Yeah. With a couple of repeats, but not as many as I thought there would be.
So, do you think there may be a chance for another new winner? Maybe
I think there's a pretty decent chance that a first-time winner will probably hit coming up next week. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But but regardless, we love repeat winners, first-time winners. Doesn't matter. We love having you guys participate in the What's the Date.
Dwight Allen says, congratulations, Benny Jackson. And then Jacob Gunn says, Jason Dodge says he knows where him and Benny are going for lunch tomorrow.
Yes.
I bet you are. You're welcome, Benny. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Glad that you're one of our viewers. Glad that you love On the Spot with David Rodgers. Please spread it to everybody. Absolutely. We want everybody to come on this show, express their opinions. Hey, we're just a bunch of guys here having a good time, trying to give you the best news and the best everything that's going around, just not in our county, Byron, and our city, and our region, and our great state, but Michael, also around nationally.
That's right.
That's why we've got this panel of guys. They're good at what they do. Michael Heater, wonderful job in writing the show, filling in during the weather. Dave, with the outstanding graphics, the producing, everything that he does. Can't do it without him.
Absolutely.
Mitchell Gunner, the local smooze guru. He is the local guru. Smooze booze. And of course, the Byron Bagwell with your national report, world report, news, politics, you name it, this guy's got it. Just glad to have you guys in. Jeff Riggins, thank you for joining us as well. All right, let's move on, Big Mike. As we are about 41 minutes into the show. We're going to get going here because we got some local news and some things going on. You're filling in. there, Michael. So we're going to take a commercial break, Dave?
Yes.
All right, so let's do this. Let's take a commercial break, and we'll be back with What's the Scoop?
Right after this.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
There we go. Okay.
Hey gang, welcome back for What's the Scoop. I'm Michael Heater, filling in for Mitchell Gunner, who is out lounging around the community as we speak, but he'll be back next Tuesday night. No, don't worry about that when you want to put up with this mug much longer. I want to bring you up to speed on some local news going in around the area. We're going to start over in Lake Butler, just because it's a pretty big event that's happening. Yeah. This Saturday will be the 100th anniversary of the of Union County's organization. For those of you that aren't really familiar with the history of it, Union County formed officially on October 1st of 1921 after breaking away from Bradford County. When there was a vote to decide where the county seat would be, Stark was chosen over Lake Butler. A couple years later, they decided to go ahead and break off into their own county, with the New River splitting them up. So they'll be celebrating their 100th anniversary downtown. It starts at 7 a.m., runs until about 6 p.m. There'll be a lot of activities going on, not the least of which will be the Fantastic Fire Brigade, but also so much more. One of the really cool things that's going to be happening is there will be a historic tour of the city where you can actually hear stories of the first 100 years. A lot of the people that are going to be turning out for this and actually participating have lived their entire lives in Union County. So it's going to be a really fascinating trip back in time to talk to the different people. Also to have there's going to be food, a lot of games, and a lot of fun going on as well. The Florida Twin Theater here in Stark, back to full operation. Want to remind you guys that once again they're running some specials. Thursday nights are buy one, get one free tickets. So on Thursdays it's BOGO. Yeah, and like seriously, I mean, and you can't beat the deal for crying out loud. Fridays, the tickets are $5 a piece. $5. And on Sundays, kids will receive a popcorn and a drink for free, included in the purchase price. So you can't do it. First run movies coming out like that. I myself am stoked because my lady has informed me that we are going out on a date. We're going to go watch movies. So we're trying to support the local economy. We'd much rather watch movies here in Stark than it would be to go out and that sort of thing like that one. You can check out the Florida Twin Theater on Facebook for all their movie times and latest releases that are coming out.
Hey, Mike, family of four going to the Bradford Theater can go watch a movie.
Yes.
Popcorn, a Coke, a candy bar, candy, whatever you want for everybody. Yeah. And you can do that for less than $50.
You can do it for less than
$40.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine that, David? Less than $40, a family of four at the Florida Twin Theater.
Go to Stark.
Yes.
Go to Gainesville and do it, and that's how much you'd pay for two people smuggling in your food.
Not only that, your tax money from that purchase is going to go to that government we were talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So, local news, great job by Bradford County Fire Rescue paramedics earlier today. Bradford County deputies working down the south end of the county received a report of a suspicious person in the area of County Road 21B and Southeast 27th Street. That's right there near Santa Fe Lake, just north of Melrose. Deputies investigated, found a young female that was in possession of a number of drugs. She was subsequently arrested and brought to jail. At some point, as part of the investigation, she appears to have ingested something. As a result, when they got to the sheriff's office shortly after their arrival, she became unresponsive. She lost a heartbeat. She was not breathing, no pulse. An immediate response by Bradford County Fire Rescue to the jail not only got her heart beating and got her breathing in, they were able to stabilize her. She was transported to an area hospital where they'll continue this one. But this is just the latest in a series of very critical calls that Bradford County Fire Rescue has done. The paramedics here, are above board. I was amazed at the number of paramedics that are certified as critical care specialists. Wow. That's a level far and above even where I was as a paramedic. That critical care specialist through the University of Florida, and they have done an amazing job with the transition of becoming a fire rescue department instead of just being an ambulance service. and now the paramedics are riding on fire engines, and so the level of care has increased even further, which is really amazing. Bradford Food Pantry. Bring you guys up to speed on that.
Yeah, please.
Still doing amazing work. If you haven't driven by the food pantry on Fridays, the lines are long. They're doing an amazing job of distributing food. However, they still need volunteers. Had a conversation with a couple of the folks out there. Bob Milner, of course, is still running the show. Betty Warren is still involved with that one. And they said they still need volunteers on Mondays and Fridays around 9:30 in the morning. Mondays, it's to help make boxes, gather everything, put it together. And on Fridays, they need help bagging vegetables and getting the containers and distributing the food to the vehicles that are waiting in line. The more volunteers they have, the faster they can get the cars through the line. Works really well. Now, if you would like to help, we encourage you to give them a call. Call the Bradford Food Pantry at 904-964-3984. Again, 904-964-3984. You can find that information on Facebook, the Bradford Food Pantry as well. A couple other things coming down the pipe. Just as a reminder that there's also been a report that there's still a need for blood at the local level. We talked about that on our last show. B and O type blood is still needed. So if you're interested in donating, you can get a COVID-19 antibody test. You are able to get gift cards or whatever it happens to be. There will be blood drives that are scheduled for Bradford County. They have not yet been announced, but they will be coming up in the end of October and November. As soon as those dates are released, we will let you know right here.
All right. Great report, Michael. Just a couple of other things I wanted to add to this. Number one is, for anybody that watches Tornado football, listens to Tornado football, one of the things is I have a lot of people asking me on my Facebook podcast, how come we can't turn the camera left or right and it has to be stationary? Well, that's because, let me explain first. Mr. Holland has got his business that he's running. Sometimes he may not be able to be there. So, he's got to do his thing. This man here is in the, of course, the truck that has to be there each and every Friday night. You can tell them what truck that is, Mike.
Well, at every home football game, the Bradford County Sheriff's Office staffs our mobile command center. We deploy that so that we help coordinate with law enforcement officers that are there working the game. It's to provide security, also to allow us to make sure that everything is okay. Should something break loose for whatever reason, we have an instant command center that allows us to coordinate radio communications. We also can communicate with the officers coming in with the away team, so that if there's something that's happening, we have instant access to be able to do that sort of thing as well. So I don't get the chance to enjoy the stands and do that sort of thing like that, but we are there, and we're there for every home game to protect everyone, both the home team and visitors that are coming in to watch Tornado.
That's why he cannot be there. My man here, his job sometimes keeps him out later than usual, so he tries to be there when he can, and of course Mitchell is the same way. So that's why that camera is stationary. My first and foremost duties, ladies and gentlemen, is to the radio station. WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM employs me and Kevin Howe to bring you the football games home and away. Doesn't matter where it's at. That's who writes the check. That's who pays the bills. All the advertisers that he's got is funding the WEAG 106.3 FM broadcast for Tornado football. So that is my first and foremost. Facebook, for now, unless one of you fine gentlemen are there or somebody else is there, it's just an added gift for you guys. If anything goes awry with that, it just happens to go awry. If I can't fix it during the game or during commercial break, that's it is what it is. I'm sorry I could not turn that game last week. I know it was a great game. Tornadoes win 33-12. They're 2-3 now. Now we've got American Collegiate coming in. And as a matter of fact, we want you to wear your scarlet on Friday night because a great man is being honored that you knew, that he knew, and all of us knew. And that's David Hurst-Knight. The Bradford Tornadoes versus American Collegiate, October the 1st, 2021. All former students, community members, players, and cheerleaders and coaches are invited to a gathering prior to this game. That's going to be between 6 and 7 at the BHS cafeteria. All former athletes in all sports who competed for Coach Hurst are invited to join them on the field at halftime to honor our legendary coach. You will report to the north end zone midway through the second quarter by the scoreboard so you can come out and participate in David Hurst night. I think it's going to be a great night, ladies and gentlemen. Not only a great coach, a great man, a great leader in this community. He was a great family man. He turned a lot of these guys' lives around. I hear it each and every day of what this guy has meant to them. So come out and honor Coach David Hurst this Friday night at the Tornado football game as we host American Collegiate, and hope to go 3-3 before we get a bye week and 2 road games and then 2 back home games. Let's see if the Tornadoes can make a run for the playoffs. Sure. Guys, we've seen this many a times. I don't know why. I can't answer it. Neither probably could Coach Tomlinson if he was sitting here. I don't know why they get off to a slow start, and then all of a sudden they get hotter than a firecracker, and they start running through the playoffs, and something clicks. I think something has clicked, and I think you're going to see a great ball game. I think you're going to see the Tornadoes win. If they play like they did last week, they will win this ball game.
Sure.
We got to find a little bit more of a rushing attack. But if we can keep throwing those little short dump passes, those things that Amari Jones is doing, and the way the defense played the other night, lights out. Congratulations to Chasen Clark, by the way, who was the defensive player of the ball game. And I've got to give kudos. Guys, y'all heard the radio broadcast. Y'all heard this. Our offensive player of the game was Hayden Hughes, our kicker. 3 for 3 on extra points, hit 2 field goals.
Great job.
And, hey,
great job.
Would have hit 4 for 4 on the PATs, but it was a bad snap.
Right.
He couldn't do anything there.
Right.
And anybody that's listening in Live Oak, Swanee, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't know if the Gators are looking at this kid, Florida State, or whatever.
Should be.
Number 16, we bragged about him all night. His name is Braxton Green.
Yes.
He punts. He kicks. This kid, ladies and gentlemen, missed a 55-yarder by 2 yards. It was dead on track, and it fell just short.
Let me take you to the next level of this one. During warm-ups, he kicked. There was a 50 or 50, I think it was a 50-yard.
Probably.
It went through the uprights.
Did it hit your truck?
It hit one of the police cars parked next to the command post, and we park away.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
I mean, he could have seriously done it. He could have done a 60. He has an amazing leg. I was so impressed with Green, and I'm telling you, yeah. For those of you Swanee Live Oak, man, you guys got yourself a jewel in that one.
If it comes down to a close game, this kid is going to come at 40 yards and in. This kid's going to give you a win.
Absolutely.
This kid, oh my God, man, he averaged 52 yards a punt for his punting average. And those 2 field goals that he missed were 50 plus. And then he made a couple within the 40-yard range.
Oh, yeah.
This kid, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got a gym over there. If anybody's listening, you tell them that we're proud of that young man too. He was the highlight for them, man, and I just couldn't stop bragging about him.
Kid was amazing. He really was. I kept on listening to it going, you're going to make another one like that.
Yeah, we was waiting for him to make one.
And then when he kicked that 55-yard one.
And I said, he missed it by 2 yards.
Somebody's got to be talking to that coach. How old is this kid?
It doesn't say what class he's in, but I'm assuming he's a junior or senior. And if he's a junior, we're going to see this kid again.
Yeah, you're going to get more range out of him too.
Yes.
He's going to get nothing but get stronger and grow.
Exactly. So, but I'm proud of our kicker, Hayden Hughes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was waiting for him for this game, Michael.
It was.
He showed out, and I'm telling you, Mr. Hayden Hughes is going to keep carrying us. He's got confidence. You should have seen this kid jumping up and down. Michael, bouncing up and down. Got everybody fired up.
Absolutely.
And telling the coach, hey, it's 4th down. He wants to go in and kick another one. He says, hey, send me in there, coach. I want to kick another one. So this kid, enthusiastic, loving. But again, I got to brag on Braxton Green. You may know better than me. Somebody was asking me, I think April Tomlinson answered the question. The boy broke his ankle, right, where we had the game delay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a severe sprain or a fracture. It was treated as a fracture, and he was taken to the hospital, treated and released.
Yeah.
So, but as to whether it was a severe sprain or a fracture, it doesn't matter. If sprains are just as bad, if not worse, than a fracture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to be out, and it's unfortunate, but at least it's not as bad as it could have been. Hey, real quick, I want to hit on one last local game I can, and then I'm going to turn it over to Byron because I got one question for you, and I'm going to let you run with it when I get to it. Okay. It has to do with mileage, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But real quick, for those of you that have been curious about the budget situation in Bradford County, last night the Bradford County Board of County Commissioners did vote to settle their budget for the coming fiscal year. At the request of Sheriff Smith, the Bradford County Sheriff's Office began live streaming the budget meetings and the county commission meetings. It was met with a resounding success, too much so that the Board of County Commissioners is setting up to where they will be live streaming all county commission meetings, workshops, and the like. And just as an observation, yes, I'm laughing because Dave Holland made a comment that is so true. I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah.
Well, they got it from the Sheriff's Office, and the Sheriff's Office got it from this team right here. Be that as it may, though. So look for a really. And the reason why they have kind of put this off was because they wanted to make sure that they had the ability to do it right the first time.
Yeah.
For example, if you go and they stream it, Facebook Live may or may not be ADA compliant, so they're setting up a YouTube channel. What's cool about this is that if you go to the YouTube channel, you can actually select which section. So I want to listen to the sheriff's comments. That's going to be in section 4. You click on section 4, it jumps to that segment of the video. So it's going to be segmented in such a way you can press play and watch the whole thing, or you can jump from the parts that you want to see. Board of County Commissioners putting that together, coming up in a few weeks. I think you'll really appreciate it. Kudos to Sheriff Smith for his idea on live streaming the beginning parts of the budget process, and including last night. The Sheriff's Office will continue to stream the county commission meetings until this is set up and established by the board. So if you're interested in seeing what's going on in county government, the Board of County Commissioner meetings will be streamed on the Sheriff's Office page at the direction of Sheriff Smith on Mondays and Thursdays until they get their system set up here in a few weeks or however long it takes.
Somebody asked me if the city commissioner is going to do the same thing.
City Commission has talked about doing this as well. They're in a bit of a transition. This Friday, of course, is when Drew Mullins, the new city manager, starts, and the new city clerk, Jimmy Crosby, starts. So they're in the process of doing some transitions. There has been talk about putting together a live stream for the city commission.
Right.
That is probably going to be coming as well. No timeline on when that's going to be established, but I do know that it has become a topic of conversation amongst the commissioners, and so I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see that happening as well.
All right, just real quick before you turn it over to Byron, Bartow Lee's on, Raymond Roden's on, Trent Bryant's on. Thank you for joining us. Robert McGee, good evening. Billy Sanford, good evening, sir. Robin Kelly's on. Roy Jackson says we're freezing. But I think we're okay. I still see some great viewers. Kenny Miracle's on.
Well, let me add this.
Okay, all right. Robin Corbin Lee is on. Barbie Crawford, somebody from the past, says, hey, guys, I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, God bless, and I'll try to catch up later. Keep up the good work. Glenn Freezy's on. Thank you, Glenn, for joining us. Bobby Gibson from Birmingham, Alabama, big Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Wonder what he's got to say to you about your Gators. I bet he says we don't want to see you in the SEC championship game.
Oh, wait a minute, they got chomped. I'm sorry, what was I doing?
Listen, you ask any Gator fan, they will tell you that taking on the number one team in the nation, I'd like to say that we held our own.
You
There were
did.
2 plays that could have really turned that around.
Yep.
Alabama got out. And I was very pleased with the fact that a lot of comments from Alabama said that was the loudest stadium they had ever been in, including home and Auburn.
Man, everybody's
and
on
places
you.
like that. And that it was so it was a good game. I like it. I don't mind that the Gators lost that game. I mean, it bothers me as a Gator fan, but the fact is that we're really starting to gel together as a team, and we're starting to put some W's in the column. I'm excited to see what happens for the Florida-Georgia matchup in Jacksonville, and I will forego singing the FSU chant of 0-4. I won't do that. I'm not going to do that for you.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about how things are going to progress.
Did he really just talk about
He did. He did.
I would never do that. I would never say 0-4. I would never do that.
I was not worried about the 0-4 at all.
would never
I
do
can't believe he put the Florida Georgia game out there. I would not be saying a word about that game.
Well,
if I was a Gator fan, I wouldn't be saying.
Well, look,
if I was an Alabama fan, I wouldn't be saying
let me
anything
say,
about it.
and you're right. Let me say this.
It's going to be a game.
Let me say this. I'm going to tell you what's going to be a good game, and it's going to be on Pick'ems. I'll go ahead and tell you. Watch out, Georgia. Arkansas is coming to town.
I was going to say
Arkansas. I know you're looking at it funny.
Yeah.
Arkansas. I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but let me tell you, I think Arkansas is going to give them fits, Byron.
I think so.
They play a type of football that I wish Florida State would be playing right now. The Gators happen to be playing that style of football right now. They come in there and they punch in the mouth. And they say, come and get it. And they keep punching you in the mouth. Georgia, I know it's in Georgia. Georgia just better watch out. I think Georgia wins a game real close.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I
Georgia
think
wins that game by 3 touchdowns.
Do you really?
Man, that defense, Georgia's defense.
Yeah.
See, and that's
Arkansas's defense has been playing the same, though.
yeah, but here's the thing about it, though, and I know this is more of a sports show.
It is. When we just win, yeah. Well,
I think Georgia is going to. I think you're going to see the Georgia-Arkansas game kind of the same way that Alabama-Florida was played out.
Probably.
I think it's going to be a little bit closer than most people are giving it credit for. It's going to be a game on the pick'ems that I think is going to be worth watching. I'm probably going to pick Arkansas.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. A little early deal right there.
Let's see what happens.
There's 2 things I want to say before we move on to my segment. It has to do with local stuff.
Okay.
First off, everybody needs to come Friday night that has anything to do with the Bradford school system. If you've graduated there, when Coach Hurst was the coach there, you were affected by him. There will be people on that field, at least I hope there will be people on that field, that actually, guess what? Went on, played in college, and there should be at least one of them.
At least one.
That went on and played in the NFL and actually have multiple Super Bowl rings.
Thank you, Mr. Larry Brown.
That's exactly right. You need to come out and pay tribute to this man, because he was a man and he affected kids' lives very greatly.
Yeah.
Before you move on to your second one, can I read something really quick?
Sure.
I am eternally grateful for the confidence, support, and opportunity you gave me to play on the 1966 Bradford High School football team. Playing for you on that team was a life-changing experience for me. It provided an opportunity that otherwise I would have not gotten. I will always regard you with the highest esteem. You were a teacher, a coach, and a leader of men. The leadership you commanded gave everyone the confidence and belief that if we followed you and followed your directions, that we would be successful as a team and individuals. You didn't just coach football, you coached life skills on how to be successful at whatever we may have chosen to do in life. Thank you, sir. Rest in peace. A job well done. That was written by Larry Brown. 1966. Wow. Tornado football player.
If I'm not mistaken, that was one of the years that they won state, wasn't it?
That is correct. 65, 66.
He got a state championship. He played in college,
yes.
and he's got Super Bowl rings.
And he's got, yeah.
I mean, you can't do much more than that as a football player.
And I'm sorry, I didn't want to make this a sports thing, but it all ties in.
No. If you come from this area, you know who Coach Papa Hurst is. So I mean, the man deserves it.
Yes, he does.
The man really does.
Yes, he does.
So I hope I see everybody out there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, and I've got one more thing to say. You know, everybody that knows me knows that I used to be on Facebook all the time. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, I really haven't been on it much because I get so sick of some of the things that go on Facebook. And in one particular case with a certain person that actually has a Facebook group here.
B, we don't even need to. Let's just stop right there. This is not the time nor the place. I know what you're talking about. He knows what you're talking about. I'll just say this. What goes around comes around. Well, and I don't want to, because we are better than that.
Well,
we are better than that.
We are better than that.
We are better than that.
But I wanted to at least give a little bit of an explanation about why I just completely disappeared off the map. I'm utterly sick of it. I know that I have a lot of friends on there, and they miss seeing me, and I miss talking to them too. Mm-hmm. But at some point, I get sick of seeing the nonsense that's on there too.
I understand that, and I appreciate what you were going to say.
It's not just it's a bunch of other things too. So.
And that all comes out in the wash.
It all come out in the wash.
It all comes out in the wash. All right, Michael, turn it over to the man.
Hey, I tell you what, we're going to come right back with the World Report with the Byron Bagwell coming up right after this.
Did you say the?
The Byron Bagwell, right after this.
All right. So, anyway.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Hey, Byron. No commercial break right now
Mr.
because
Saban is the leading Panhandle to the Florida Keys to handle your claims for personal injury, workplace violations, and PIP claims for medical professionals. Visit us online at www.piplaw.com or call 24 hours a day at 877-511-7829. Schuster and Saban Law Offices for all your legal needs.
And now, with the latest national and international update, here is your World Report with Byron Bagwell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. To my right, sitting in for Mitchell Gunner. You heard him already, Michael Heater. He'll be coming back with you with the weather here in just a few minutes. We're going to turn it over to the World Report with the Byron Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels, patriots, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, go ahead and say the other word.
And miscreants.
There you go. There you go.
It's been a while since I've been on, and there has been a whole lot of things that have been going on in the world that really do merit mention. And a couple of the things I wanted to talk tonight about was some of the same things that we went over before, and I don't want to seem like I'm beating one of them with a dead horse, because that's what I feel like I'm doing with this. But it's Afghanistan. I wanted to talk a little bit about Afghanistan because we have had a general actually testify on Capitol Hill in front of Congress today about the fact that he recommended that there was a certain number of troops that were to be left in Afghanistan so this wouldn't happen. And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because we have a sitting president, who has said that didn't happen. So we now have a general that's in his cabinet that has said, and he's not in his cabinet. He's just he's one of the commanding generals of our military. Right. We have a general who has testified under oath, under penalty of perjury, that is saying one thing, and the President of the United States is saying another.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't just one general.
2 or 3.
Yes.
But the main one that I'm concerned about
Right.
is the one that testified the most. It's actually a 4-star that actually had the pull.
Right.
So he goes up and he testifies that he basically told our president that this is what we needed to do. We needed to keep troops in there. We needed to inform our allies. We needed to take care of this, and we needed to pull our people out before we actually started pulling everything else out. We didn't need to leave tanks. We didn't need to leave drones. We didn't need to leave carriers. We didn't need to leave Apache helicopters. We didn't need to leave Black Hawks. We didn't need to leave any of it. Mm-hmm. So he goes up and testifies that today, right after the President of the United States goes on and basically tells the world that all of his generals were in lockstep with him, saying we needed to do it exactly how he did it. So now we have an issue. Who do you believe? Do you believe the 4-star general, or do you believe the President of the United States? Because one of the two of them are lying. If the 4-star general's lying, not only has he committed contempt for Congress, which they can jail him over, but they will actually court-martial him for that too in the military. So I highly doubt a 4-star general is lying under oath. So that leaves the President of the United States. So what do we say about this? Who do you believe? Who do you not believe? I can tell you, if I had that much to lose and I had 4 stars on my lapel, I sure wouldn't be going to Congress and saying that under penalty of perjury and probably court-martial. Mm-hmm. So we have basically an issue that's made it even worse than it was before. And I'm saying this, it's a small thing to some people, but it's really not. We have the President of the United States going on mainstream media and lying through his teeth.
Question for you, if I may. Is it possible that...
Bad signal.
Okay. Is he lying, or is he just confused?
Well, here's the problem. If he's not lying and he's just confused, it's even worse. Because what you're talking about is a commander-in-chief of the military and the President of the United States who doesn't know what he's doing. Right. So who is running our country? Who is not our country? Who's running the executive branch of our country? Right. And if that's the case, should he be running our country at all? Mm-hmm. Because our executive branch at all, should the other two branches step in? That's the question to me. It's not the fact that whether he's a Democrat or Republican. If he can't remember what a 4-star general told him about removal of troops and what we should do in Afghanistan to keep the Taliban and Al Qaeda and Iran and China and Russia and everybody else out of there, and actually keeps the stability in that country, mm-hmm. and keep the Afghan government actually valid, which is not anymore. It won't be very shortly if it's not. Then we have an issue.
We do.
because the man can't remember a 4-star general looking at him going, no, we need to keep troops here. I'm sorry. Either one of those situations is horrible for this country.
I agree.
And I'm telling you, the political party that is in power right now should be ashamed of themselves if it's the latter of the two that we're talking about. And they should be even more ashamed of themselves, not the same, to tell you the honest truth, if it's the former.
Correct.
Because you have a liar in office, or you have somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. One of the two, because he can't remember. We have a president of the United States that's that way. And people can say what they want to about that. Oh, he is this and that and the other, and the general was lying. I'm sorry. A 4-star general has a career that is long and is very important to him. They are political creatures to a point too. They have to play certain games to get to where they are.
Right.
They are not going to lose their power until they retire, unless something crazy happens. And they're not going to lose their retirement because it's really good. And they're not going to dishonor themselves, the country, because that's what a military person does. They honor their country, and they honor their families, and they honor God. That's what they do.
Right.
Okay? So I trust that 4-star general, under all of those circumstances that were going on with him today, a whole lot more than I trust Joe Biden.
So, question for you, if I may. Playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
Point, counterpoint. Regardless whether it's the former or the latter, would it not make sense for the commanding political party of this country, as they are now, to at least give some kind of a unified front? Because at this point,
They're not.
At this point, it seems to be so fractured because we've got a $3.5 trillion deficit that has go off in different directions, and I'll get to that in a second.
It's not 3.5 trillion. You're talking about the bill that's
Bill,
right.
the bill.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the bill.
Something else
Okay.
I was going to bring in.
Then you've got what has turned into is no longer a crisis. It is a full-blown state of emergency at the southern border.
Well,
Yeah.
And
just let them all in.
And now you've got additional federal investigations going on involving the FBI of where when the folks that were evacuated from Afghanistan are now assaulting U.S. soldiers, female soldiers, on U.S. military bases.
Sure.
So you would think, I'm not that smart, never claimed to be, but it would seem to reason that if you're going to be putting out these many fires, that you should be approaching this from a unified front. And they can't even do that.
Well, here's the problem. And I'm going to say this, and I've said I really don't care what people think before, and I really don't care what people think now. You shouldn't be, as a responsible adult that has any management skills at all, you don't have to put out this many fires, because you put the right people around you, and then you take care of the things you need to on down the line because you have the right people there. The right people are not there.
That's correct.
And that is our own government's fault.
No.
Let
It's our government.
Byron,
They,
I want to
they
ask.
put themselves there. Oh, excuse me. The people put themselves there, right? And that's another subject we're going to get on to.
I want to ask something backing up on Mike, because I want to sort of say the same thing, and Michael brought it up really well. You're talking about all these fires, Michael, that you were just talking about. You're talking about the crisis at the border, the Afghanistan crisis over there, which, like you said, is a full-blown just crap storm now. You've got people being investigated by the government. You've got this big-time deficit with our budget. You've got 10, 12, 15. We can just keep going on and on and on. My question to you is, like Michael said, they should be coming at it as a unified front. But just with what you know and your intelligence and knowing what, and you keeping up with this, how many of them do they really want to fix?
They don't.
And that's my thing right
They
there.
don't,
What do they
fix
want to
it.
fix?
They don't want to fix it. And part of it, and I can tell you this from my own personal experience with the Republican side of this, because I've talked to them before, my representatives before, about fixing this debt issue. They've had opportunities to do something about this debt issue, and they haven't done anything themselves. You know why? It goes back to a quote that I've given before by a Frenchman named Andrew Alexander. Alexius de Tocqueville. Why I'm having issues tonight with names. Basically said the American Republic will only last as long as its government doesn't figure out, or actually the Congress doesn't figure out that it can bribe its own constituents with their own money. And that's basically what's happening with this.
That's exactly right.
We have spent ourselves into a hole, and it's got to be fixed. And it's got to be fixed by responsible adults, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle they come from. That's got to end. And the bill he was talking about is going to add trillions more dollars on top of it over silliness that we don't need to do.
And I'm fascinated because you said you weren't familiar with this, so I want to mention this, and I'd like to get your input on it. For those of you that aren't familiar with the bill, one of the topics of the bill is that the Biden administration has proposed a mileage tax so that they are going to roll out a $25 million in the first year, $25 million project as a test site to where they can have GPS units placed on all vehicles in the test vehicle.
Rip it out.
Hang on. They're asking for volunteers to both for regular drivers and commercial drivers so that they can come up with a plan to start taxing you for every mile you drive in your personal vehicle to help pay for roads, bridges, and other infrastructure. Byron, I'm going to ask you this because I want your input on this one, because I'm going to take the role that I don't normally take here. I'm going to take the role of the pro mileage tax, and I want to just banter back and forth with you on this one.
Sure.
Okay? Based on, and that's limited information, and I apologize, see like that. But here's the deal. One of the proposals by doing the mileage tax is that they do away with the gasoline tax. In my opinion, if you do away with the gasoline tax, you're now charging a tax for people that use the roads more than others. So if I drive to work and I drive 1.5 miles every day from my house to the sheriff's office, as opposed to my neighbor who drives a big rig and he drives 200 miles a day back and forth. He's using the roads, I'm not. He should be paying for the roads, I'm not having to use them. I think that could be considered a fair way to do it. What do you think?
I wanted to answer that, but go ahead.
Let me explain this to you.
Please.
In very simple terms.
Yeah.
The answer you're going to get from me has nothing to do with mileage tax, and it has nothing to do with gasoline taxes. Mm-hmm. It has to do with personal liberty. It is none of the government's business where I am at any point in any time unless I've committed a crime.
That's exactly
none of their business. I will rip it out of my vehicle, and when they come for me, the shooting will begin.
Okay, but that's my point, is that you can take anything that's in this bill and justify it. Okay, I can justify the mileage tax.
You can't justify a mileage tax anyway.
Well,
because I'm going to tell you the honest truth, because the gasoline tax does the same thing. It's the same thing.
It does. But
we are taxed to a point of breaking in some points.
But the point is that and here's the kicker. One of the proposals is that it could replace the gasoline tax, but yet there are Democrats who said, "Oh no. This is in addition to the gasoline tax."
Is the state going to get rid of their gasoline tax too? Or are we still going to play the state? No, the state's not going to get rid of it.
Absolutely
we are taxed too much now as it is.
All right, let me throw something at you, gentlemen.
That's right.
Heaters, you like hardware. Heaters Hardware Store, located in Stark, Florida.
That would be it.
Byron Bagwell.
Byron.
What do you like, Byron? Byron the bookstore.
No,
Byron's Bakery.
There you go. Bagels.
Byron's Bakery.
Bagels are all right.
Because Mom can help out with the cooking.
Byron's Barrett's.
All right, Byron's Barrett's. All right.
That's fine.
David Rodgers has his own 3 trucks that he's delivering goods. Let's call it the Rodgers. I don't know what.
I'm sorry, I got.
I know.
That infuriates me.
I know it.
Talking
And
about
I'm fixing
tracking me anywhere.
to tell y'all something too that's even gonna make it more funny. Rodgers Trucking Service. All right. So, Mr. Heater and Mr. Bagwell depend on me every 3 days to bring them their supplies. Hey, man, he's got my 3 trucks. We're ready to deliver supplies every 3 days to these guys. Now all of a sudden, now I'm a businessman. They're businessmen.
Not
You're a
coming every 3
businessman.
days.
That's exactly right.
I'm sorry, David.
But no, because that's exactly right. When this goes into effect, if Michael says this goes into effect, which I don't, if it does, I'd
be shocked. But
I'd be shocked too.
It will.
But if this goes into
effect, they will be shooting over this because.
Can you see all the people that own trucking businesses and everything else that they depend on? These companies depend on big rigs delivering their goods to them. What they're going to do? They're going to absolutely stop. I'm going to say, guys, I love you to death, but you know what? I can't afford to put my 3 rigs on the dadgum road anymore. They're taxing me on fuel.
Right.
They're taxing me on mileage. My insurance is going through the roof. My repairs are going through the roof. I cannot afford to deliver your goods anymore.
Or worse case than that. Yes, you can afford it because you're going to charge more for those deliveries, which means our bottom line has skyrocketed. We're going to price ourselves out of business.
You're going to pass it on to the consumer.
And if the consumer say, no, I don't need your hardware store because I can buy from China or whatever it is, now all of a sudden, I'm out of business. He's out of business.
Yeah.
We don't need a trucking company anymore.
Don't need a trucking
He's
company.
out of business.
I'm out of it. Now, yeah.
Here's something else I'm going
That's
to
exactly
say. You're
right.
about to see gas prices jump too, because guess what?
Winter.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're begging OPEC to make more oil.
Oh, yes, they are.
Guess what? We're about to become energy independent on the Middle East again.
Dependent, rather.
Dependent.
Energy dependent. Yeah, exactly.
Energy dependent on the Middle East again.
And there's no
Thank
reason
you.
to. There is no reason.
None.
This
There's
is
no reason. I am sorry. All of your green dreams are just that right now. If and when you can do the same thing with electricity that you can with gasoline and diesel and oil, then I will be on board for that. But you can't. You can't even produce electricity without either nuclear power or coal.
That's true.
Yep.
Unless you're going to burn a bunch of trees, which the city we've had happen here locally, and it's just not not in Bradford County. It's happened in Alachua County.
Right.
And it's
a disaster.
It is. It's a complete
utter disaster that they spent millions and millions of dollars on that does not work correctly. Plus, they're burning all the trees, which guess what? Produce oxygen, which they fuss about. It's hilarious.
It's fascinating because for years, the city of Gainesville received the Tree City USA designation, and now they're not.
They're not.
Of course they're not. They're
burning all
the trees. So, but
Anyway.
the whole entire thing, when you start talking about this mileage deal, there's it's twofold. Number one, enough with the taxes, because I've had enough taxes. Everybody else has had enough taxes. We don't need any more taxes. We need less spending.
Yes.
That's what we need.
But-
we need to quit with all of these dumb projects that they do.
Now,
every single one of them. If you cut a penny out of every single one of them, every single plan, every year,
1 penny.
it'll take about 20 years now.
Right.
Because when this originally come out, it would have taken about 10 to 12 years. Now it's more like 20. Yeah. Our debt will be gone. If we take a penny out of every single plan. It's called the penny plan. It's been there for quite a while.
A long time.
Yeah.
All you have to do is do that, and it's gone. They will not do that.
No.
A penny.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, how Republicans and Democrats, how can you not do that and eliminate our debt? The answer is you want us in debt. That is the answer to that. That is the only common sense answer to that. You want this country in debt for some reason. And the only thing I can figure out is because we have to be beholden to you. And guess what? This is our government, not yours. You are beholden to us, and you're going to stop it.
But here's the deal. Countries that are in debt feel the need through the mental mindset that, you know what? If we adopt a more socialist idea, we can get out of it.
Sure.
And that is where the problem comes in.
The problem is and it's really simple. And people say, oh, we've never done it this way before. Marxism has been tried in, I don't know how many different ways, because socialism is Marxism.
Yes, it is.
It's just painted in a different way. So is communism. Communism and socialism are two sides of the same coin. You come through socialism by voting it in, and you come through communism by revolution.
Mm-hmm.
It's two sides of the same coin. It is the same philosophy. It never works. It comes to things like what happened in the Ukraine under Vladimir Lenin and Stalin,
mm-hmm.
where they basically starved millions of people to death. Pol Pot is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say that I'm crazy because they say Hitler was a Nazi. Hitler was a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
Adolf Hitler. I can keep on naming people that have used this and have killed millions and millions of people. The idea of free thought disappears. It may not happen overnight, but it always happens.
Correct.
We need to wake up, and we need to drive this thought pattern completely away and out of our country. And it needs to start at a local level, and it needs to build up. Mm-hmm. We have to get these people out of our colleges. That has been a bastion for them for years and years and years and years and years. They are teaching our young adults that this works, and it does not. It ends badly every time it's tried. It does. And I think it's about to end badly in Australia, to tell you the honest truth. Because I don't know how much longer those people are going to put up with the crap that's going on down there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, look, all that we're seeing is the product of a failed ideology that has been implemented in this country over the last 120 years, give or take, starting right around the time of Woodrow Wilson. They call themselves progressives. They were not progressives, they were communists. That's what they were. That's what their goal was. You start looking at what happened through time and what the USSR tried to do to us and put people in places to do. You start looking at the different time periods, and you start looking at how much further and further and further and further and further we went away from our founding. Mm-hmm. It's a bad path. It's a really bad path, and we are really about to find out from this administration, because this administration is about the furthest left administration we've ever had, and they're also one of the most inept administrations I've ever seen. I really thought Jimmy Carter was horrible after I studied it, because I was alive during Jimmy Carter's administration, but I was not old enough to understand what was going on at that point. I thought Barack Obama's administration was horrible. But if you look at what Barack Obama did and you start looking at what they're doing, it's Barack Obama 2.0, but it's hyped up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that we have, in the last let's see, 12, 14 years, we have actually doubled the amount of spending that this country And it's probably more like 3 times the amount of spending that this country has spent ever. Ever. Not just during that time period have we doubled it, but I'm talking about from George Washington all the way to Joe Biden, and I cannot believe I'm using those 2 names in the same sentence. We have to do something about this, ladies and gentlemen, and the answer is voting. And the other answer is fully understanding the way we vote and what we do with it. Because guess what? In Arizona, we have an issue now, too.
I want to throw something at you two guys.
Sure.
Starting with you, and you can answer it too, Dave, if you want to answer it as well.
Sure.
All right. We are in debt to so many people in so many countries, i.e. the main one, China. Right now, if China was to say tomorrow, Michael and Byron, we're cashing in. We want you to pay your debt to us right now. What are we going to pay them with? And how are we going to pay them? And what would it lead to?
I can tell you what I would tell them they could do with it.
Go ahead. I'm listening because
I would tell them to take a flying leap is what I would do right now if they tried to cash in all their debt.
Sure.
May cause another war, but that's what I'd do.
See, and that's and that's
And
what I was just going to say. Would it come to war?
They know we can't do that, and it would. It would end up being World War III.
So you got, we're in debt with China. China's in debt with us. You balance this out. Where's the balance of that at?
Either I'd tell them that, or every single American that died freeing them from the Japanese during World War II is plenty of payment for that. Yeah. Take your debt and go away.
Yeah. Considering how much land they own in the United States already, I would consider it a wash. And it's unfortunate because it's only going to get worse, I'm afraid.
Yes, it is. It is going to get worse.
People would say I would end up getting us in World War III, and I probably would. I would tell them to take their debt and go somewhere else with it, and I'd tell them that their nationals can no longer own a piece of property inside of the United States anymore. You get your assets off of it and go somewhere else. You are not buying any more land or property in the United States. The property that's there, you have to sell back.
I just want people to realize, and I think y'all gentlemen, not just on tonight's topic, but even in previous topics where we've discussed this, that they could, again the word is could, call in. They're not going to do it. I know they're not going to do it. But there is a possibility that they could, if they wanted to, call in that, you know what I mean, that particular marker, pay us. And then, like you said, okay, go pipe sand, and then here we go. What's next? What do you want to do, China? We ain't paying you jack.
What are you going to do? You're going to solve it in the world
courts?
They're more corrupt than not.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and that's exactly right.
I mean, that's just, David, that's...
I know. I'm just saying that it is out there.
Really quick, before we close out tonight,
yes, sir.
I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I want everybody to have a clear understanding of this. We had the commission come back on what happened with votes in Maricopa County and other parts of Arizona. Mm-hmm. Well, what they found is something that they've been saying on the news media that all the votes were counted correctly. And that's all you're hearing is all the votes were counted correctly. There was very little discrepancy in it. All the votes were counted correctly. Well, guess what?
That's accurate.
That's accurate.
Yeah, it's accurate.
No, we're counted.
But it's dishonest.
There's too many votes.
It's dishonest. Number one, there was too many votes.
Way too many.
Number two, there were people that voted multiple times. Number three, and they've actually said a bunch of this in those reports too. So what we're hearing that there was no voter fraud. The votes were counted correctly. But guess what? Some of the votes that were actually counted never should have been there in the first place. Correct. It's the same thing like what's going on in Alachua County with
voter fraud is voter fraud.
With registering felons to vote. You can't vote if you are a felon and sitting in a jail cell. I mean that's Alachua County. That's how corrupt that cesspool is.
Yeah, with your mailing address as the Bradford County Jail.
I mean, You know,
Sorry.
3333 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville, Florida. Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
But they registered them anyway, and this is what I'm saying. There was all sort of fraud going on, and they've got that in the report, but we're not hearing that side of it. What we're hearing is the votes were counted correctly.
Right.
I'm sorry. I used this example a little bit earlier, and I'm going to use it again. I can write my name on 50 different ballots, 50 different ways, and vote 50 times, and I've committed fraud all but one time of that.
Correct.
Right.
And if you count all those votes, and you're only counting 50 of them, guess what? You counted those ballots the correct way.
That's right.
So when you hear stuff like that, dig a little bit deeper. There is all sort of information about that out right now, and I could have spent 3 hours on that by itself.
Just really quick, I know we're getting late in the show, and you did a wonderful job. By the way, so did you. Very good topics, and we'll continue these on. Just real quick, I want to hit, because it was asked. Okay. Your mom and Edward Petiprin wanted to know, what about the reporting of all bank withdrawal of $600 or more? Do you know a little bit about that?
I know. It's been going on for a while, I believe.
Well, this is there was a and correct me if I'm wrong like that one. I think the current law says that you must report expenditures or income over $20,000. I can't.
I think that's the number's right.
It's capital gains, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's capital gains. What is being proposed is that if you have more than $600 in your bank account, then the government is going to require you to account for every banking transaction. That is going to be, and then because you end up ultimately paying taxes on it, that's going to literally wipe out 90% of the small businesses. I would lose my business. I can't.
Sure, I can't do that.
You can't do
that. No, there's no way.
So there is.
Not only that, it will wipe out the banking business because people will start demanding being paid in cash, and they will take it home.
Yeah,
tell the government to pound sand.
Right. Yeah. So this situation mirrors the mileage tax. Could it be twisted in such a way that made it sound like it was a viable option? Yeah, anybody could twist anything to make it sound good, but you are not going to do it. I'll give you a prime example, and you may have seen this earlier like that one. Did you hear about little Johnny who went to school, elementary school? Walked in and put $1,000 on the teacher's desk. And she said, Johnny, where did you get this money from? And he goes, I sold toothbrushes. Really? How'd you do that? He says, well, I had some candy. I made some chocolate for everybody. But they were eating it, and they were like, it tastes like crap. And he goes, yeah, it's because I made it from dog crap. Want to buy a toothbrush? And he was able to turn around and take... This is exactly what the government is trying to do to you now. They're trying to...
It is a great analogy.
They're trying so hard
to
spread you... Yeah, they want to give you crap and then force you to buy the toothbrush to try to clean up the mess afterwards. That's exactly what we're dealing with.
They like stuff that's on fire. They like to keep things on fire all the time because guess what?
Keeps you distracted.
Yeah.
It keeps you... Well, not only does it keep you distracted, but there's never a crisis that goes to waste. They've always got to come to the rescue of the poor little citizen.
And then
instead of actually, sorry, David, I didn't
go.
American individualism and the American creed are really important because guess what? I don't need the government keeping me.
Right.
He doesn't need the government keeping him. He doesn't need it. Neither does Dave Holliday.
That's right.
This is our government. We don't need to be kept. We can keep ourselves. And if we come to a point in this nation where the majority of the people can't keep themselves, we are in a world of trouble. Because guess what? The parallels between what's going on in this country and the fall of Rome is unbelievable. And if you don't remember all what was going on, go back in your history books and read it.
Yeah, here's an idea. Read history, don't destroy it.
Yeah, how about that? Also, I wanted to back up. You were saying no good crises go to waste, i.e., here we go again. Media. They want you to be into the media. Oh, yeah. The media is going to tell you the truth, Byron, Michael, and Dave, all day long.
Sure.
They're going to... I don't care if it's mainstream media, social media. Man, they are going to tell you the truth all day long, right? Well, if you believe that, You were talking about Arizona?
Got some
oceanfront property there for sale for you. So
I mean, you take a look. You can start taking a look back in history and start taking a look at one of the biggest publications ever in the United States, the New York Times. Mm-hmm. Take a look at how they reported the Holocaust during World War II, and that is a Jewish organization, or was. I still don't know if it's majority Jewish or not. It is a Jewish organization. And they either dismissed it or didn't report it at all.
Correct.
They lie. They have an agenda.
Sure. Every media organization has an agenda to a point.
all right,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've got an agenda. My agenda is freedom.
freedom. Great show tonight, guys. Michael, thank you for your report tonight. You did a wonderful job. Byron, you did as well. The Byron Bagwell, should I say? Dave Holland,
Man,
the is part of your name now.
Yeah, man. I don't have. I have an ego just like everybody else has an ego.
Yeah.
My ego isn't very big when it comes to stuff like this.
Let me clarify why.
It's the.
Let me explain why it's the.
Yeah, go
It
ahead.
is the Byron Bagwell because Lord knows we couldn't take two of them.
Oh, goodness.
No.
I didn't say that. He did. There's a God, y'all are crazy. On behalf of, let's go real quick with the weather. Real quick, Michael. Can you give us a real quick
Real
update?
quick weather. It's not going to rain. Beautiful conditions over the next 3 to 5 days. Look for sunny skies, partly cloudy skies as we move through the afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s. As you see across there, look at these low temperatures in the 60s. Oh, open a window and enjoy it. No rain in the forecast for at least the next 5 days. Tropics, quiet. Got some disturbances coming in off of the African coast. We'll keep an eye on them. 10 to 15 days out. Not worried about anything at all. Austin Stevens, make sure you check out his weather forecast. He keeps everything up to date with the latest information.
On behalf of Mr. Byron Bagwell, the Byron Bagwell, Mr. Dave Holland, back there, producer Dave, say hello and good night.
Well, hello and good night.
And sitting in for Mitchell Gunner, the Michael Heater. I'm David Rodgers, your host. God bless. Have a great night, a great week. Tornado football, David Hurst night, Friday night here locally. Don't forget about Lake Butler and their big celebration going on. God bless you. We love you. Next Tuesday night, another winner. Make sure you stay tuned. God bless you. OTS right there, baby. Love you guys. Y'all take care.
Good night,
Have a great
everybody. Have a
weekend.
good night.